Inside Foos presents FoosTalk Live.
I had an anxiety attack. It's going to be my last show. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I wouldn't blame you, frankly.
I love this show.
So, of course, our rugged individualist and electronic Swiss Army knife comes to us from Dallas, Texas. None other than Clay Toomey. Hello, Clay.
I like that intro. Feel free to use that one again.
Wow, that was special.
I like it.
Yeah. It's almost better than the one where he introduces me as one of the best foosball commentators of all time.
It's FoosTalk Live.
You talking to me?
Compelling and lively banter.
Are you going to talk to us?
Talking foosball.
Foosball was how I measured my value as a man. You took that away.
Players and fans, promoters and pros. Unedited and raw.
Talk.
Living in the moment.
We have a lot of important things to talk about.
All while practicing social distancing.
Cool. We'll talk. No big whoop.
Let's get this thing started. FoosTalk Live. Welcome once again, FoosTalk Live. I'm Tom Robinson. This week, we've decided to take a much-needed break, a bit of time off from going live. So this evening, everything you'll hear is pre-recorded. And we've decided to refer to this as FoosTalk Live's Greatest Hits. You know, it's hard to whittle down these dozen or so great moments of FoosTalk Live, but we wanted to explore the archives and bring to you the highs and the lower too of the more recent episodes. So sit back and enjoy FoosTalk Live's Greatest Hits. Now, of course, conversation is a whole lot more interesting if you got somebody else to talk to. And of course, from the great state of Colorado and inside Foos TV studios, it's the world's greatest foosball play-by-play announcer, Jim Stevens. Hello, Jim.
Tom Robinson, great to hear your voice. I feel a little bit out of shape. It's been 2 weeks since I've done the show, and it seems like a lot longer than that. I was, as you say, out of town for the week. It was spring break here in Durango, so we headed south to Phoenix. Yeah, Mark Torrance is going to join us shortly, and we're gonna get to the meat and potatoes of what the top 5 foosball states are.
Well, you know, when it comes to Mark, I think maybe we should shake his tree. What do you think? Mark, are you with us?
I'm here and I'm lurking at all times.
Listen to that. Wow, what happened? Your voice sounds different
great tonight, Mark.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah. I sometimes I just like to work on my voice a little bit, guys. And today I'm going to give you Ron Burgundy all night long.
Who knows if we're right? Who knows if we're wrong? It's just an opinion. But at least it's a pretty well-informed one when it comes to Mark and I. And Mark, I always am impressed by your homework and your knowledge of the history of the sport, because you're always spot on with your top 5s, even if you didn't play back in the 70s and 80s.
I just do my best so I'm not embarrassed by you, because it's like arguing about a librarian where certain books are.
Because
yeah,
I
Tom.
was just going to say, we're talking about Texas, that, that's also the home of our statistician, Clay Toomey.
Yeah,
so Clay, would you like to chime in about Texas?
Yeah, that's obviously the best. I don't understand where the discussion is on that. I mean, this would be, there's a reason I'm in Texas. It's because it's Texas, man. I mean, had nothing to do with my parents or my family or anything else. It's just where the good Lord wanted me to be.
He's got that Texas twang. It's something about that. Of course, there's the tornado style, which is, like a style that everybody in the planet has adopted since tornado came into the scene.
Yeah. And I actually don't really play. I'm probably one of the few people from Texas who I literally cannot shoot a pull shot. So it's kind of tough sometimes being Clay Toomey around here, because they make fun of me, man. It's like, I literally just can't do it. And my natural shot is like the standard front pin. So I get beat up sometimes, they pick on me, but at the end of the day, it is what it is.
What is that in the background?
Well, I think that actually our special guest for this evening, who has got it technically together now, Blake Roberts.
Oh, no. Let me go ahead and state for the fact, I had a microphone hooked up to my laptop on Discord, but my mic was suppressed. So I had to run to my car to get this headset. And now I'm walking back to my apartment because of the technical difficulties of tonight. I'm just going to go ahead and say that now.
Welcome, Blake Robertson, to FoosTalk Live.
Yeah. Sorry if my headset sounds bad.
It's cool.
No, you sound like you're high on life, buddy. Yeah. What do you got going on, dude?
What do you mean? Are you telling me y'all are not high on life?
Wow. Dude, you're like Terry Rue. You started just dancing.
Hey, you know what? Terry's one of my favorite football players. So I'll take that. Absolutely.
He's a stud.
Listen to y'all's top 5, though. I mean, did anybody put Florida as number 1? Because it's not even close.
Ooh, Florida number 1.
No, Blake.
It's not even close. It's not even close. So the open singles 8-time champion lives. Oh, are we talking currently? And you have the current women's Midori Kimura. And I mean, Liz is from here. Johnny Horton, Bobby Diaz, Tom York, me, Scott, Todd. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Where are you from, Blake? Where are you from originally?
Hold on, what's that?
Exactly. There we go.
No, I'm from Jackson, Mississippi originally, but I was about to get in the elevator, and I knew I was going to lose service, so I had to stop myself.
And it's amazing, guys. 25 episodes in, and the people are still actually listening. I'm just astounded. This is great.
Hey, listen to that, Mark. Who knew that Tom Robinson had a sense of humor?
I'm not sure.
Hey, come on. Not just another pretty voice. I'm sorry. There's more than under the pristine surface that you're hearing right now. So, okay. Let's it is the 25th episode, and because of that, we are absolutely celebrating, and not in a small way, in a very big way, because of our special guest this evening, who, by the way, is a multiple world champion and multi-table world champion. His name is familiar to some, especially when it comes to things like Foos gear and other aspects, but he's a great business guy too. I would like to welcome to FoosTalk Live officially, Ryan Moore. Ryan, are you with us?
Gotta unmute himself.
What's up, guys? Yeah, I'm here.
There he is.
Hey, Ryan.
We caught you off guard, didn't we? I thought I'd give you a nice ramp up there so you could be ready to jump in.
Sorry, man. Yeah, I was just finishing up on the toilet.
As I recall, the first time we had a chance to chat with you, you had to finish up a cinnamon bun. So at least it's now it's just the other end. That's cool.
Check, please.
So Ryan, welcome to FoosTalk Live, man. How you doing? It's been a while. Congratulations on your new family, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. It's been quite the ride, but yet really calm, with all of everything going on. So it's been I've been able to be super busy and quiet at the same time.
Yeah, no kidding. No, I mean, as far as your day-to-day work, things are still humming along.
Yeah, I'm as busy as I've ever been, and really, what's awesome about being an entrepreneur is I do set my own schedule. So, if the wife needs help or if I got stuff that does come up, it's not the end of the world for me. I don't have a 9-to-5, but I work more than just about anybody that does have a 9-to-5. So
describe.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, man.
Very cool. So describe for us now that you are our new parent, quote unquote. What exactly what has changed in your life since the big event?
I give credit to my wife. She is, she's a stay-at-home mom. She does everything with Foos gear. So
yes,
I'm only helping her right now because she's actually in Europe with my son, visiting her family, and they're getting to see him for the first time actually. So It's kind of nuts, but Corona did that to him. But she has really allowed me to not only not change my direction and what I'm doing, but allow me to even get further into it, which is, was my goals. So I've actually ramped up. I've expanded my companies more than I ever have this last year.
Wow.
It's really funny because at the very beginning of the year, like I was getting super inspired. I had just had a kid. I'm like, all right, I got to make a world for our family. We're already talking about kid number 2. We got to figure things out. And I put a post on Facebook, and I started laughing the other day. I was talking to somebody about it. I said, make 2020 the year that dictates the rest of your life.
Yes.
Get inspired. And I'm like, oh God, I think I might want to delete that now.
Well,
the absolute worst post ever.
It's apropos.
When that comes up in my time hop, I'm going to probably share it and just put a laugh out there.
No, it's actually apropos though, in a way, because people we've seen how bad things can be. Now we can look forward to, things getting much, much better, especially in foosball.
Yeah. And I've, 2020 has been, actually a very prosperous year. I've been very blessed to, be in the industry that I'm in, as it actually everything doubled and tripled. Everybody, was off work, and a lot of people were obviously consuming more cannabis than normal, and
sure.
It was a really good year, and I have a team that's super solid, and we have challenges too with Corona, just like everybody else, as far as like how our business model, our SOPs, things we had to change. We had to spend a lot more money. But it's been a heck of a year. Like I said, we're expanding everywhere, and hopefully trying to bring on a couple new states here the end of this year or the beginning of next year.
Well, it looks like New York State might be one of your next customers over the next year. It looks like the talk is that the governor of our state is definitely going to make this happen in the next year. So.
Well, you can only hope so, Tom, right?
Well, hey.
Ryan, and I can kind of relate as someone who runs a business, who has kids, and both of us, you and I and everyone else in the foosball world are not really doing tournaments, at least for the last 6 months. How has this time really allowed you maybe to focus more on your business, on your family? And I know with 2 children, second coming, I think still, right? Is that right? Iveta is...
Yes.
But how is this time? I mean, if you were traveling to tournaments and doing all that, it may have taken away a little bit from your business, from your family life. But because of that, it's allowed you to focus, as you say, more on your business. And of course, in this COVID time, what you do comes in handy for a lot of folks. And so, but also your family as well. How has this allowed you to really focus on those things without having to worry too much about foosball beyond your business, Foos Gear, your secondary business?
Yeah, exactly. It's been awesome, man. And like I said, I'm probably the luckiest guy I know, and I'm blessed for that. But yeah, not only I wanted to take some time off when my kid came. He did come 2.5 weeks early, so it kind of threw a little curveball because I wasn't quite ready. So I spent some time with him, and then I started going, you know what, I can run all my companies straight from my house, and obviously still be able to do a ton of stuff. Just really on a computer is my main job. And so yeah, at the beginning of the year, I was able to actually, be here every single day, which almost nobody has that kind of luxury when their kids are born. They maybe get 2 weeks leave, and then they have to go right back to work. Sometimes both parents. So we're literally able to be with him all day, every day. I get to watch him grow up, get to watch him take his first step, first rollover, first crawl, first dad. I mean, it's been kind of a amazing experience. But
shooting a rollover already, wow.
Yeah, and at the same time, not missing a beat on my companies, my expansion plan, and actually propelling even faster, being able to work kind of silent and by myself and not having so much noise around me by being with teams and stuff. So, yeah. The whole coronavirus definitely stopped foosball, and not many knew about this. I told close people, but after Worlds, I was like, I had a baby on the way, all this and that, companies and the whole nine. I said, I'm taking about a year break. I said, I'll see you guys at Worlds next year. And I was actually going to go to Vegas. It was the only tournament because Yvette wanted to show the baby off. But COVID really did, obviously freeze the world. And it really was a blessing for me because, I didn't have to do anything besides what I needed to get done. So I needed a break from foosball, and I actually just played last night, and I had a blast, and I haven't had that much fun playing foosball in a long time, just because I've been so focused on other things. So yeah, it's been a very quiet but prosperous year. So
let's talk a little bit about the fun factor for you. And I know it's an issue. I know it's important. You've got to be having fun when you're playing. That's why oftentimes we'll see you start to do the slingshots. I know how much you enjoy playing goalie. But it's got to be, you got to have some fun, don't you? By being creative, by playing goalie, by doing different things. And even in finals, sometimes we see you go with the rollerball type stuff because it's important to have fun. You mentioned having fun last night at the tournament there in Oklahoma. But it's important to have fun. Maybe that's a lesson that all of us can learn to make sure that we have fun on the table along with competing. But fun is important to you, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's everything, man. Foosball has been my entire life, and it really still is. I mean, it still plays into every single aspect of my life as far as competition and learning how to win and learning how to lose. And so, when I play foosball, let's go back to like 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, when I was pretty much at my prime is what I would consider that time. And, not only was I financially driven from foosball, but man, did I love the competition. I loved being a contender. I loved being one of the top players. all of a sudden I was, just a good player to one of the best in the world. And it was amazing, and and then I started plateauing a little bit. I started I already won my open singles title, doubles, mixed, the whole nine, World Cup, all that. And I started doing a business. And then I started putting all my love and all my energy into that business. And so it did take a little bit away. And then I got stuck in a rock and a hard place where I still love this game, no matter what. Even if it doesn't look like it, I still love it. I still want to play it. That's why I show up. That's why I'm there. But I still didn't give that extra bit that you have to give to win. These guys, they're there to break your neck. And if you're not giving it your all, then you're just not going to win. So for me, that's exactly, you hit the nail on the head. I sometimes I revert to, instead of just trying to win, I'll go, you know what? I'm going to win and have the most fun I can possibly do it. And sometimes it turns me into an absolute animal, and sometimes it makes me lose. So, well,
yeah. I often say that foosball is our martial art. For me in particular, I think foosball has taught me more about life, about how to deal with tight situations, with clutch situations, how to be in the moment. Foosball has taught us a lot of things. I could only imagine you, a guy who is such a competitor, such a smart player, a guy who makes great adjustments, a guy who is always prepared, how that has translated over to business. Would you say that the lessons that you have learned during the course of your foosball career, your growth as a foosball player, immediately translated over to business? A lot of the things you learned in foosball, you applied to your business side. Would you say that's pretty accurate?
Single-handedly, foosball has made me exactly where I'm at in business. And the way one of the biggest things that you didn't actually touch base on was confidence. Because I'm able to take a challenge in foosball, I wasn't the best at one time. And because I was able to take that challenge and turn it into a reality to be one of the best players, to win a world title, it showed me that I can do anything I ever possibly want to, as long as I just put my mind to it. And we've all heard the saying 1,000 times, but yeah, you're exactly right. When I fail, I look at that as a growth. It's the same thing. When I used to get beat in foosball and I was up and coming player, I would know exactly why I got beat, and I wouldn't let it happen again. Well, it's the same thing. You make a mistake in business, you're not going to make that same mistake again. You're going to find a way to fix it. So that would be an adjustment in the business world.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's single-handedly the only reason why I am where I am today. If I didn't play foosball, I don't think I'd have nearly this kind of drive and success.
Ryan, I got a question for you. How you doing, man?
What do you want?
Let's welcome one of the great players of all time, a member of the United States Table Soccer Hall of Fame, all-around great guy, member of the USTSO board, member of Team USA multiple times. Please welcome the great Tracy Mcmillan.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
Hello,
That's
Tracy.
awesome. Hey, how you doing, Tom? Congratulations on your 30th episode.
Oh, well, thank you so much. It's
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think we're all in the celebratory mood when it comes to this FoosTalk Live thing. Never realized it would go this far, but hey, we'll take it. Absolutely. And thanks for being a part of it.
You bet. And yet, yes, I do drink coffee.
Nice.
Almost every day.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that, of course, what we were talking about is quickness. And of course, if it's something that you're taking, whether it be coffee, there's always going to be the other end when it wears off. So,
yeah, that's true. And I wouldn't say I drank coffee ever playing foosball, but I didn't need to. The adrenaline just kicks in, so you don't really need it.
Right.
But yeah, that was a pretty good list. But I somebody that you guys that I would have had on my list is, remember Nate Winter?
Oh yeah.
That was really quick. And a guy that you probably don't have on video anywhere. It was one of my first doubles partners was Mark Snyder. Shot a push shot.
Yeah, open hand push shot. Yeah. That's good.
It was not an open hand push shot though.
Really?
It was not an open.
Oh my God. I thought it was a fan. Oh wait, you're right. I'm like, yes, I know Mark Snyder though. No, it's great.
But it was amazing, but how he could hit such a long, deep push shot with a close-handed. And he's a little guy. He probably weighed, 155 pounds. But his game was pretty much a 1-2 pass, but mostly he would 5-bar almost every time. And if he didn't score it, it would bounce off the back guys and he'd catch it on the 3 and shoot rolling push shots. He had pretty much a deep long, a hard middle, and a dink straight.
Hey man, we're
Go
here
ahead,
with
Mark.
top five. Why don't you take T-Mac? Give us your top five. Don't be such a politician like whoever else we got in here. I'm not
I
gonna
mean,
say.
you guys pretty much touched on everybody I would have had on a list, but I can't put them in any order.
Of course
Probably
you can't.
maybe Swan number 1, Blake number 2, Atkinson number 3, Nate Winter number 4, and then number 5. God, that could be Cindy or Mahrez. Yeah, I have the fastest push kick I ever saw.
Thank you. Speaking of fast players, Tracy's a very methodical player, but in singles, he's had a great deal of success. And a lot of that, Tracy, is because of your hand speed. You are deceptively fast on the table. And I talk a little bit about, we talk all the time about these goalies who are also great singles players. Of course, it helped that you were a forward earlier in your career. But you're a goalie who is also a great singles player, with several top 5 finishes at the Worlds, et cetera. But talk about a little bit about how your goalie game benefits your forward game and about your hand speed as well.
Well, as far as the hand speed, I was also going to say AZ's is just like you said, very, very quick, cat-like reflexes. And I think I had pretty good transition. That afforded me a lot of extra shot opportunities in a lot of cases where I didn't have the strongest 5-row. That was usually my deficiency, was my 5-row. And I was one of those guys that didn't have a lot of options. And honestly, I can think back throughout the years, I changed my 5-row so many times where I just couldn't make my mind up if I was going to do a back pin, pull it to the wall and dart it out, or do a wall or bounce it off the wall and then hover and do a pass to a tic tac, that works too. But I never really stuck with one series. So, I think my execution was always good, but I never just developed a good pick you apart kind of offensive 5-row attack. And I think that probably kept me from winning some singles that I was in position to several times. But, and then of course, being a good goalie definitely helps your singles game, of course, right? That's going to afford you some extra opportunities as well. If you can block well. And up until, there was a time when you could score a lot of points from back against anybody. But now when you get to the top, couple rounds in the winner's bracket, guess what? You're not going to be as effective on your 2-row. You're going to have to find another way to make it happen. You're not going to score as many from the back.
I'm thinking, Tracy, I watched you play that 1990 singles final in the Worlds with Johnny Horton, right? It was 90, right? I was there. I can't remember a damn thing. It's like a blanked out, man. I remember. There's a picture of me standing up in the stands, and that was my first. That was my first World Championships. Talk about that. You remember that match? Do you have any details?
I remember. I remember the last 2 matches. I know I had a good run in singles. I beat one guy that always gave me a tough time, but I hear you guys talking about every now and then, and that's Hussein Kiani.
Yeah.
I beat him on my way. I beat Murray, and I think I beat Lafredo too. And then I'm playing Johnny for the winner's bracket, and I remember just a big crowd of people around, and I was just shaking in my boots. I mean, you couldn't tell, but I was just so nervous. I was 22 years old, I think, and just never played Johnny in singles. That was my first time. He was pretty intimidating, I mean, you know how he can be. He was. I never beat Johnny in singles. I can tell you that. And I played him 2 or 3 times, and some couple times in a winner's bracket final, and at Worlds. And I think that was just always part of the edge that he had on me, is that I had just seen him dominate singles so well, and I just couldn't get over the hump. I'm ashamed to say it, but the intimidation was definitely a part of it, and it definitely affected me.
So you beat Murray at 3rd, right? You put two losers. You beat Murray at 3rd. Murray takes 3rd, right? And then
Murray got 2nd.
So Murray beat you to get to the finals. Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. Okay, sorry, keep going.
Yep, that's right. And matter of fact, you can see. Go ahead, Jim.
Mark remembers nothing about that match, but neither does Johnny. So I think we're okay.
Right.
Pretty good play.
Yeah, but he just got me. I think I was in the match early on, and then he took me out. But then when I went back to Murray, you can imagine Murray, just the fighter he is, gritty guy. And matter of fact, you can see a picture on the internet. I think it's on my Facebook and some others, Murray's too. He's standing on the table, on top of the table, the rail of the table, on his side of the table, fist in the air. I think he's even on one leg.
Yeah.
That was after he beat me. If you could blow the picture out, you would see me walking away.
That's the first and last time I saw a player win a match and jump on top of the table. That just gives you an inkling of how psychotic Murray was.
He was pumped.
He was crazy. The only thing that would have been different if he would just like dropped his pants and like ran around the room. It was psychotic, man. It was amazing.
Yeah,
that was the Horton.
That's what's missing from the sport. Yes, nudity. That's what we need.
Yeah, right.
Man, just figured it out, Mark.
It's coming back. It's coming back. Starting with Tracy. I'm going to spike his drink. He's gonna
you don't want to see my hairy chest.
All right, let's
get back. And it's ended in chest.
Jim Stevens has decided to take a bit of time out this evening. Now, he's got a legitimate excuse. He's actually celebrating his birthday today. So it's cool. Jim, I get that. I hope you're celebrating and having some fun with the family. I have a feeling that you're at that age now that maybe somebody will get you a gold-plated walker for your birthday. At least that's what I would do. So in the meantime, we're very, very lucky in this situation. We have someone who's volunteered to jump into Jim's shoes, and I hope that he was wearing his socks. Anyway, we're going to go all the way to Florida now. A person that is joined us in the past, and also a World Cup champion, a gold medalist. Her name is Midori Kimura. Welcome, Midori.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great.
Thanks for jumping in. This is great. What's make me jealous? What's the weather like in Florida tonight?
Okay, well, it's actually pretty chilly, but it's pretty chilly for Florida weather.
Yeah, define
so
chilly.
For everybody else, it's probably not that chilly, but I'm the big baby when it comes to being cold. So it's 52 right now.
52. Come on. And it's what, like, 9 o'clock at night, 52. That's like swimming weather here.
That's like death. I didn't think I was going to make it. I had to go from my car to the store and back to my car, and I thought I was going to get frostbite.
Well, I am impressed. And you warmed up just in time for the show. That's great. Awesome.
Yes.
Very, very cool.
Happy birthday, Jim.
Yes. Happy birthday to Jim. And how's life for you, Midori? What's going on? Are you maintaining there?
Yeah, it's the holidays kind of I work in a restaurant, so the holidays busy. So I've just been working a lot. Haven't really lacking on my foosball.
Okay.
It's holidays are over, so hopefully I can settle back in and start playing some more.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to that for sure. Absolutely. Well, we also we always have to make sure that we make enough room here, because there's an individual who's always here, it seems, for FoosTalk Live with Jim and I. But of course, tonight being no exception, let's travel all the way to the Windy City, where I have a feeling it's a little chillier than 52. There he is, right on time. Mark the Bull Torrance.
I would like an Arnold Palmer at the Omelette Parlor. I would like an Arnold Palmer at the Omelette Parlor.
Midori, if you haven't noticed
Great
already,
enunciation.
He's been using these exercises to get better at being on air. So,
welcome to my show, you guys. Thank you for joining me once again this week. I appreciate you starting it early without me. How are you?
Good, Mark. What's happening in Chicago this evening? What's going down?
Cold as hell. It's freezing over, man. It's like apocalypse, end of the world. I bet you it's like 80 degrees and Midori's complaining.
Right.
So whatever.
Is that 52?
I didn't even hear that.
You didn't hear 52? Yeah. 52 degrees.
Snowing here.
Above zero.
So whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Horrible.
Okay. Well,
thank you for having yourselves on my show. Sure.
It's always a pleasure, Mark. Always a pleasure. Well, since this is a special occasion, Jim is opening gifts, and we're sharing the gift of Foosball Talk, or FoosTalk Live. So it wouldn't be complete if we didn't really kind of kick things off immediately tonight. Now we are going to forego the top 5, but we want to get right directly to our special guest, who is joining us all the way from Oklahoma. Happens to be Midori Kimura's partner in the 2019 World Cup competition as the ladies took the gold. And of course, you know the name, Liz Hill-Moore. Hello, Liz.
Sawatika. How's it going?
How are you?
Just doing good. Excited to be here as always. Love to talk foos.
Cool.
With everyone.
Yeah. When was the last time we talked? It must have been back in the summer last year.
It could be. I have the worst memory, so yes.
So what's how's foosball withdrawal going for you? Are you how are you holding up?
There hasn't been too much withdrawal for me. I mean, it's just different. So okay. I mean, I have a table here at home. I went to a couple of tournaments. So it's not too bad, but I'm ready to hit the normal stops.
Yes, exactly. Well, there's, rumors going around that maybe things might be sort of getting back on track, maybe this summer, possibly, with a bit of time and some inoculations and things like that. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yep, exactly. Well, guys,
hold on a second. Let's have a moment of amnesty, okay? Because Midori has like 3 or 4 or 5 tables, whatever it is, and she doesn't touch them. Let's just put that out there. She doesn't even look at them. She walks by them with disgust and disdain.
I look at them.
How many is it?
Fine.
How many tables do you have?
4.
4. Wow.
Yeah. They're not all mine, but we kind of, I think the Garlando is Tom's and the Bonzini's Tony's, but they kind of contributed because that's where we usually all get together to play. And then we have 2 tornadoes. So it doesn't do any good if all the tables are in different spots. So we put them all in one spot so that we can all play on them. And by we, that doesn't mean me, but
okay.
Everybody else.
But I want to get to Liz. So I know Midori has 4 tables, and on one of those tables, there's probably a box of Cinnabon. They're not doing anything on those tables. Liz, when you practice, honest to God, what does practice really look like? Is it once a week, twice a week, once a day for 5 minutes? What does it really look like?
It doesn't look like any of that. Practice for me is, we play here at my house usually every week with some local rookies and amateurs. But before a tournament, what practice looks like for me is just execute. But before a tournament, what practice looks like for me is just execution and building back muscle memory. So. And a lot of that also includes videos now. I used to never watch videos. I do a lot now. I've learned that you kind of have to feed the mind and not just your muscle memory.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting.
That's what yep.
Yeah. So, well, hopefully you get a chance to start building back more muscle memory very, very soon. So before we proceed here, guys, into FoosTalk Live, and by the way, if you're just joining us, Jim Stevens is celebrating his birthday this evening, taking some much-needed time off. And, of course, now we've got Midori Kimura from Florida. We've got Mark, of course, from Chicago. And now Liz Hill is joining us from Oklahoma. We're going across the nation tonight. And I'm right here in upstate New York. So we're going to be, we'll do a couple of the normal things we usually do, including, but I'd like to get to of course, propose a toast here, is our IPA of the week. But let's see how this goes. What Jim and I like to do right about this time is to reveal our favorite IPA. And of course, this occasion, what I had to do was run out and find a really good IPA near the house. In fact, it's all of 15 minutes from my house. It's a place called Common Roost Brewing Company, and they make something called Good Fortune IPA. And I'm going to sample. Let's excuse me for 2 seconds here while I pop the top and take a sip. Luscious. Oh, yes, that is good. It's actually, and it's right here in my neighborhood. So, okay. All right. So, okay, guys, I've got my IPA going. Midori, what are you consuming this evening?
So I've got something from a more of an international corporation. They make great 1% milk. And I've got my little chocolate chip cookies. And not bubbly, but
cookies and milk.
Trick.
Cookies and milk. I love it. That's a first on the IPA of the week for sure. Cookies and milk. And okay, Liz, how about you?
Okay, so I cracked open a bottle of wine that my wonderful friend Keisha Rue and also gold medalist teammate gave me for my birthday. It is Cooper and Thief.
Oh, nice.
And this is a red wine blend that has been aged in bourbon barrels.
Oh, I like that kind of wine. Yeah, I've had that before. That's good stuff.
So I've just cracked it open, and it's interesting. It's different at first, but it's growing on me. So
And that's the best thing about wines, right? It tends to change. So, okay, Mark, what about you? What do you got?
Well, it's kind of masochistic because almost every week I drink a LaCroix, and every week I complain about it. So it's addictive, clearly. And it's a lime-flavored LaCroix. I'm not sure if I've ever had lime on the show.
Okay.
But I probably have. And these things don't taste like anything the fruit they're supposed to. And I continue to drink them by the case. So bottoms up.
Yes, sir. And here's to you.
By the way, Midori with her milk and cookies is lobbying. She has Nickelodeon and Disney lobbying for a sponsorship with that milk and cookie gig.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the motivation there, which makes a lot of sense. Yeah, very cool.
He's going for Denny's for our 3 a.m. tournament pancake visits, but I mean, I'll take Disney or Nickelodeon.
All of these sponsors now. Denny's is sponsoring and Disney. Wow, I'm very flattered that they would want to join.
I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, right. That's very cool. So, guys, I want to propose a toast. Now, first of all, we got to propose a toast to the birthday boy, Jim Stevens. You know, he's definitely he's doing what he's got to do to celebrate. Now, the other person that we also want to toast to today is another person having a birthday. We all know Miriam Ali, right? Or Miriam Ali. You know?
Happy birthday, Miriam.
We love you, Miriam.
Yes.
Yes.
The best. And to you guys, here's a toast.
Cheers.
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 Cheers. Now, I don't want to bring the party down here, but I do want to make mention of a person that this last week left us from this foosball world. His name is Tim Fuji Alberts, and I don't know if you guys know of Tim, but Fuji was a legendary 90s and early 2000s player. Played with Harvey Young quite a bit, but he passed away this last week. It was sad and unexpected, but he was living in New Hampshire and was putting on some tournaments in this last year. We got a chance to play with him about a year ago before COVID hit, and he seemed like he was in good spirits in those days, but apparently he had been suffering from an illness. So again, we want to propose a toast to Fuji Alberts.
Cheers, Fuji.
To Fuji. Cheers, Fuji.
I love the chemistry that Mark and I have. I love battling Mark Torres, who has incredible foosball knowledge and insight. And so I kind of miss him. You know,
things are quiet right now. Things are quiet on FoosTalk Live, a little quiet for us. You know, you and I kind of have similar personalities that way. So, you know, there's not as much, shall we say, spice in the mix.
I call it bluster.
Bluster.
Yeah.
But
let's get a little spice in the mix.
We've
got somebody sitting out there, I think, who might be ready to go.
Right. Yes. So our special guest this evening, of course, we are so happy and so proud to know that this individual is so legendary in his fierce competitiveness, not just in foosball, but also wrestling. We'd like to welcome to FoosTalk Live for the first time, Little Kato, also known as Chris Dube. Chris, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. How you doing, man?
Hey, Chris.
Doing good. Doing good. How are you, Jim?
Doing well, buddy. Good to hear your voice. Glad you're able to join us here tonight.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on.
So, Chris, this is an absolute honor for me to get a chance to not only get a chance to meet you, but also spend some time talking about foosball and some of the other things you've been involved with in your life. Now, of course, it's customary when you come on FoosTalk Live that, especially with your kind of past, I like to start at the very beginning. So, okay, you tell me, when was the very first time you saw a foosball table, and what kind of table was it?
Well, I was it's probably 1977.
Okay.
I was in junior high. I was going into 8th grade, and I lived in a court in Fremont, California, same city Adrian Zamora is from.
Right.
And so my neighbor 4 doors down, his dad bought a brand new butcher block tournament soccer blue top table.
Ooh.
And so we were pretty athletic in our court. A bunch of us guys played at every sport, football, baseball, and basketball. But when that foosball table came, that was something that really took my interest pretty quickly. Well, I started playing in local tournaments in Fremont, and the very first tournament I ever went to, it was a Piccadilly Circus Friday nights. That's where they had rookie tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
And I seen at that tournament, I seen Adrian Zamora, and I watched his game. He had a little pool shot, and the thing I noticed about Adrian was even then he had a sneaky little 5-bar series, a sneaky brush series, and you could just tell that he was going to be, even at a young age, that Adrian was going to be something special.
Yeah. Wow.
Hey, who played forward? Who played forward when you and Adrian played together?
That you know what? Our team name was You Play Back. I started off in the back. But I played a little bit of goalie when I was younger because I could shoot bank shots out of the back. It was wide open then. You didn't shoot just pulls and pushes. But I did start off playing goalie. No, I wasn't very good at it. That's why I got up front pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, it's good thing you did. You were definitely a power forward. So you come up in the late 70s into the early 80s in that NorCal scene. It was a very strong scene, and you mentioned you and I met. It probably was maybe a galaxy in those early 80s. But it was a strong scene in Northern California. We had a pretty good one down in Southern California as well. It was a rivalry, and you guys would come down to us. Sometimes we'd go up to you. But talk a little bit about some of the players that you grew up with, the guys that challenged you, the guys you learned from. Some of the names, and we've talked about it here, of course, with Mark Torres, but I want to hear it from your perspective as well. You mentioned Adrian Zamora. Who else were there that really competed with you, or kind of brought you along, maybe as a player as well?
Well, when Adrian and I and Steve Ambus, Donald, we were all rookies, but we had Jimmy Lopez and Roy Albert, Dan Casey, Ed Lee, and Victor Fong.
Yeah,
who was a really good goalie, and Casey, darn good goalie. Those guys were people that we looked up to as the rookies. Adrian and I and the other guys weren't quite there yet. So the Bay Area, like I heard Dana Marr on here a couple weeks ago, and playing in a draw your partner in Fremont at Galaxy was brutal. And then Thor come along, and man, I'll tell you what, we thought we were really good, and we were okay, and we had 5 bars, but Thor had such an awesome 5-bar, and just the will of him, the way he played the game, like Mark said, when he was practicing or playing a regular game or just a pickup game, you couldn't tell the difference, and Thor dominated. But let me say something about Thor. Usually if you got somebody in your local area that wins every week, people get a little upset. They don't like them and they don't root for them. But I swear to you, it was never like that with Thor Donovan. Yeah. Thor Donovan, week in and week out practice. We even went to a time when he drew something and draw your partners, he would have to spot people points. But we never got mad or got upset with Thor winning because he was just such a great sport, off the table, also just a great human being and a class act on the table.
Yeah, that's for sure. Both on and off the table. And even us down in Southern California, when we'd lose to him, it wasn't like losing to some of the rest of you because we really admired him and thought he was a great guy. But the other thing is he was a pull kicker as well. We're looking back on the last 40 years of foosball, and we look at the best pull kickers from those 4 decades. It's you and Thor. And so was there, of course, you did an open hand style. His was closed hand, but still pull kicks. You're still getting similar reads. Was there ever any kind of rivalry because you two were both pull kickers?
No, I wouldn't. No, it was just, it wasn't any different than playing somebody with the pull shot because we both did it a different way. I did it with the open hand and Thor did it with the closed hand. And Thor's shot is just a thing of beauty because he tried to shoot the wrist, a pull kick with the wrist. It's an awkward stroke, and it was just so pretty to watch his pull kick when he was on. And then when he was picking them holes, he could dink, he could do it all with that.
So we have another caller. Mike, welcome to FoosTalk Live. You're on with Chris Dube.
What's up, Dube? Legend Mike Green here, brother.
Hey, what's happening, buddy?
Welcome back.
Let me tell you something. I gotta say it. I had to call, didn't interrupt your time on here, bro. But you're like one of my favorite players. There ain't a player alive ever had the heart that Chris Dube had.
Yeah.
If I had the heart of Chris Dube, I would have won 10 world championships.
Oh, you have a heart. Don't go there, man.
He talks about he never talked to the partner. I can't remember a couple of times him telling me, dude, you can't block. Good thing Horde's got that friggin' pull shot because I destroy you, brother.
I remember when you come to Galaxy, man, we all loved you over there. You remember we used to say, Puman.
Let me tell my yeah, I got to say it, man. You know, I'm a storyteller. I got to tell my Dube story. I met Dube young. And he's in our room, and he's trying to get our sponsor, Jim Dumas, to sponsor him. And he's flipping back and forth. You know how if anybody knows Dube, they know how athletic he is. He's doing these flips back and forth. And that's back in the day when the windows were open. You could open them. Dube lands on the ceiling of the window, the seal. We thought he was going over.
Oh.
And he says, do you remember that, Dube? You said, dude, after that, you got to sponsor me, bro.
I think Chad Hansen was in that room, too.
Yeah. We were up to no good, man. It got a little wild, but I seriously thought Dube went out the 15th floor, thought it was over.
Oh. Wow. We're glad you didn't. We're glad that didn't happen. Yeah.
But anyway, brother, I don't want to stay on here too long. I just wanted to tell you, man, nothing but mad respect for you. You're incredible. You're always one of my favorite guys. All you California guys. Anyway.
Yeah.
Have a great day, brother.
A lot of fun, man. I had good times with you. You were a lot of fun to hang out with.
Yeah, we definitely did that.
But yes, we did.
Mike, it's great to hear from you again on FoosTalk Live. How was your holidays, by the way?
Oh, it's always the same in Florida, man. You know, it's 75 degrees and we don't really wear a mask. So it's nothing really changed a whole lot for us.
All right.
It's all good in the hood.
Yeah, as long as you're good, man. That's key. That's key. Cool. So, Mike,
all right, guys.
Yeah. So we appreciate you calling in. Let's talk again real soon.
Good talking to you, Mr. Green.
Yeah, you too, man. Maybe if you decide to ever go out, man, let me know. I'll come out and hang out with you. We'll play one.
I'll tell you what, I'd like to come to Florida for a week just to visit.
Yeah.
Come to Florida State, man. And you'll hook up and we'll get beat like drums. We'll have a good time.
All right, buddy.
All right, bro.
Take care.
Thanks, Mike.
Nice talking to you.
You too.
So yeah, Chris, you are legendary. You know, this reminds me. One of our former guests here on FoosTalk Live told a story about you, and I want to get your side of it.
Okay.
So, story goes, this player was in an arcade, playing with a friend or two on Foosball, and you walked in with a partner and challenged them to a game. I believe was for money, and they beat you. So you said, okay, I want to play again for double or nothing. And they said, okay, we'll play it for double or nothing. And they beat you again. And you're like, hey, listen, give me a chance to get even here. I want to play again. So they agreed. But this time you went outside and got your stool that I believe had your name on it and put on, I guess, a glove, and your partner put on a glove. And you whooped him bad.
Yeah, the oldest trick in the book, right? You know.
Is this true? Is this a true story? That's what I want to know.
Was that a Phil Slaver story?
It might have been. It might have been.
Nailed it. Yep.
Phil.
Well, your answer, sir. What would you say? What is your answer to that? Did that happen?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I would. It was probably true. I don't quite remember it, but I'm sure Phil wouldn't lie about something like that.
Okay.
No, he might. Who knows? No, he wouldn't. And it totally rang true. Mark Torrance usually joins us. Of course, he's a prominent member of the FoosTalk Live team. Not able to be here tonight. A fellow NorCal. What are your memories of Mark Torres early on, or just your general impression of Mark Torres, who I know you know very well?
Well, Mark was, of course, a San Jose Fooser, and come up playing with Fernando and them guys, and he was a talented player, but we had a lot of them in the Bay Area. I didn't get to see Mark play a whole lot in the Bay Area because I had moved to Kansas City. And I moved to St. Joe in '86. So I missed out on a lot of stuff. Galaxy was still rolling pretty good. And I did miss out a lot. But I mean, I do remember Mark coming up with Fernando and Serge. What a great group of players them guys are still from the San Jose area. You know, Scott Stewart was from that area too, and Ken Lowe, Serge. There was a lot of good players. In Fremont, we were just 13 miles away, but it was like it was a Bay Area inner rival. Even though we went on tour, we all stuck together. We still had our little rival, San Jose and Fremont.
I'm a bit starstruck about tonight. I do have to say, because this is one of the greatest players of all time, if not. I think there's a lot of argument about this, but she is certainly the greatest most winning American player of all time.
Yeah.
And we are so excited and so thrilled to welcome from Alabama, it's Cindy Head. Cindy, welcome to FoosTalk Live.
Hi guys, thanks for having me on. It's an honor to be here talking with you guys.
Well, it's mighty nice of you to join us. I mean, it's high time, of course. So, Cindy, are you in Alabama this evening?
No, I've been in Colorado for about a year and a half. Well, maybe almost 2 years now.
Oh, gotcha. Mm-hmm. Okay, so how far are you from Jim's neighborhood?
I'm about 30 minutes outside of Denver.
Gotcha.
So, how far is that, Jim?
Oh, it's about 6 hours from where I live down in Durango. But I believe you were in Larkspur for a while there. Are you south of Denver? Is that where you are now?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
About the Castle Rock area.
Okay. Yeah. My sister-in-law lives in Castle Rock. We're there quite often. We'll have to check in. But no, it's great to hear your voice. You know, it's great to talk to you here on FoosTalk Live and kind of reflect on your amazing career. And kind of touch base with where you are these days. And of course, I know Mark Torres, who's with us here tonight, Tom Robinson as well. And we're really thrilled, as Tom said, to have you on tonight. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me. And I wanted to give you a shout out on congratulations on your 1 year anniversary that just passed. That's pretty awesome.
Thanks.
So kudos to you guys for all that you do for us players.
Let's say it's people like yourself that make it worthwhile for us and make it so much fun. And we're so thrilled to have you. So it's tradition, of course, here to talk to you about the distant past, if you don't mind. Of course, a lot of us already know your story from Foosballers, the movie. So congratulations on your film, because I have to say that if Foosballers, the movie, had been just about your story, it would have been just as thrilling. It was such an accomplishment. So how did that feel, by the way, getting selected for that film?
Well, I turned it down 3 times.
Turned it down 3 times?
I did.
Really?
I didn't know that.
I have had many interviews where the story just turned out to be so cheesy, and it just, it just did injustice to our sport.
Right.
And I just wasn't up for that again. But after meeting Joe and sitting down and talking with him, I knew that he had our sport. It was in his heart to do a good job, and I felt good about him. And I said, okay, I'll do it. So, and I'm glad I did, because he did an amazing job.
Yes.
And he got to the heart of the sport, into the heart of the players. And I am very honored to have been in his film.
Yeah, no question. I love the footage of you as a police officer. By the way, thank you for your service.
You're very welcome. Unfortunately, our department, we had a new chief there after I retired. Okay. And he was afraid of liability. So there were so many things I could have shown about our department. And like I was able to show the beat that I worked on. It was a civil rights district downtown. We walked around and showed that area, but because of liability, he wouldn't let me go on TV and show all the things that I did, and wouldn't let the other officers come on. So that was kind of disappointing, because I really wanted people to see what I did as a living and how much I loved being an officer.
Sure.
Because I miss it every day. And so I hate that he wouldn't let that part come out.
Well, it is it's terrific. Really terrific.
Cindy,
stuff.
what they did show was plenty for everyone to ingratiate themselves to the level of service you did to your community. It was I don't feel like I missed anything, and still felt the weight of your experience and your commitment to your community. So I thought it was wonderful, in spite of what you may have felt was missed.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was really one of the, I was watching the movie. I went out to the premiere in Los Angeles and had family members there and non-foosball people, and they absolutely thought that was the best part of the movie. Many of them taken to tears during that, and it was just a really. I thought you were wonderful, and of course Joe did such a great job with this movie, and so again, just a great film, and you were a big part of it.
Well, thank you. I think the part that was hardest for me about not showing me as a police officer was the part of my brother being an officer, that we worked together, and the way that we became officers to serve and to help people. And I think it hurt my heart more that I wasn't able to, show that part of him being such a good officer.
Right. Yep. Well, so now we kind of need to go back. I know you've probably repeated this so many times, but your earliest days. And forgive me if I've forgotten the name of the place where you used to go when you were young, before you really became the Cindy Head we all know. The arcade. Somewhere Else? Is that what it was called?
No, it was called Someplace Else.
Someplace Else. Okay. Yeah. Got it.
And I was just a small child. I literally had to stand on, I don't remember if it was milk crates or whatever it was, but I was pretty small for my age. I was probably, I don't know, 10 or so, but
10.
And I would have to stand on those boxes to play, but I had a blast. It was a lot of fun.
And was it there's something that caught your eye about foosball itself? I mean, maybe you saw the table and didn't know what it was the first time?
I remember the first time I actually saw a table. It was actually at a place called Angry Revolt.
Okay.
Which is down the street. But I was smaller, and I really had no clue what that table was. And I remember going in and looking at it and thinking, that's weird. Then I left and went out the door. And then about 2 years later, I saw the foosball at the Someplace Else, and that's when I started trying to learn how to play.
Yeah, Someplace Else. So was there a moment that you remember where you decided, I'm addicted to this and I just can't stop playing?
I think I loved it. It was an outlet for me to go play foosball. It was a way for me to go and relax and, compete and just have fun and not worry about anything. So foosball at first was just an outlet for me and a good place to go.
And what kind of tables were there? Do you remember the name of the table?
Yeah, give me 1 second. It was a horrible table. It was called Vulcan. It was a Vulcan table.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. And
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you actually decided to compete? And where was that? And was it a national or regional tournament?
I can remember the first time I decided I was going to be good. It's that I was going to be good at this sport no matter what it cost me. It's when those 3 guys came in and told me, not this time, honey. We need somebody a little bit better.
Right.
And it just crushed my heart. I remember going home and just with tears in my eyes. And I was thinking, Mister, one day you're not going to be able to say that to me, and I'm going to be able to beat you. And after that, I was determined to learn how to play. And I was very fortunate because in the area where I played, it was called Woodlawn, and we would have local tournaments, and one weekend it would be at our place, another weekend it would be in Tuscaloosa, another weekend it would be in Cobble Heights.
Right.
So there was so many tournaments, and the guys were very gracious. They would let me play, and they would let me, try to learn, and they would try to teach me stuff. And then it got to where I was good enough to where they weren't telling me stuff anymore. I had to learn it on my own.
You became a threat. That was the problem.
Yeah, but I had a blast, and I have so many male friends over the years that I wouldn't trade anything for the friendships and the people I have met over the years.
Yes,
I wouldn't trade that for anything.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, I've discovered since getting back into this in 2011 how much of a family there really is when it comes to foosball, and it's universal.
Yes, it is. There's so much love, among us. And there's something I wanted to say to Jim, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Jim, I wanted to thank you, and I'm sure this is from every player around the world that has ever touched a handle. For the video over the years, you have captured some of the most precious moments in people's life that have spent countless hours of blood, sweat, and tears to learn how to play this game and to become the best. And you have captured it on video, because in the heat of the moment, sometimes I can't remember what I did to win an important match because I'm so focused and I'm so set on whatever that person is that I need to fix or change or whatever it takes to get that ball in. And you have so many precious moments captured on video that we can go back and look at that you will never understand how important that is to people. So thank you for what you've done over the years.
Thank you, Cindy. That's very kind. Thank you.
Well, you know what, Cindy? I'm gonna counter that. You should be thanking me for being there drunk sometimes.
No, you should
to ruin those moments.
I knew you were going to say that.
Well, thank you also.
No, seriously, I gotta say this. I've been watching you since '89, right? Cindy, if I could be honest, in the early '90s, I had a massive crush on you. I just follow you around like a puppy dog. I swear to God, that's true. I had a massive crush on Cindy Head like the early '90s. I'm like, Cindy Head.
Wow.
That's so sweet.
Anyway,
watch a match. That is so sweet.
But you should know that you've delivered those moments to us to record, and I can clearly remember you over the decades watching you playing some young lady, and it was always a test of character. It was a test of will for the 99% of the time. The first time Cindy Head plays another woman player, I can assure you that woman player lost. The first time they played Cindy Head, they lost, and they had to. And Cindy would score a point, throw the rod, give her the and the fist pump, and then she would look up. And if that poor young lady's eyes were diverted, or she was basically if her will was being broken by Cindy, that match was over. It was over every single time. But it was because of you, Cindy, that so many great players learned to rise up and to fight back. And I'm sure nothing pleased you more than seeing the competitive fire return back at you. And I believe you helped develop so many female players to have a stronger character and to be more competitive and face fear. And that was because you were so strong-willed on the table. I don't think you ever wanted to lose ever, not one point, not ever. But in being so self-determined, a lot of women and men players learn that character building from those character building moments. So we owe you that gratitude in return.
Oh, thank you so much. That comment you just made, I know people probably don't believe this, but this is the God's honest truth. When I'm yelling and I am, doing the things that I do, it is not to intimidate the other player. It's to keep me pumped up. I have to have a drive. I have to feel like every point I do, everything I do, that I have to be fired up, and I have to be able to continue to do that, or to do it better the next point, or to rise my game each time. And that is more to keep me pumped up and keep me fired up. And yes, it probably does mess with some other female players' head, but that really is not my intention.
And one of the things we get to do here at FoosTalk Live, which I love, is getting a chance to talk to the people who actually live this and do this. And of course, tonight's guest is no exception. He was six-time world champion on the Dynamo table, and in fact made the top 5 list as the #1 Dynamo forward. And these days,
shut up! I mean it. Get out. Get out.
Please put it together. Let's welcome.
All right, believe it or not, I'm the 7-time world champion. I won 3 world singles titles in a row.
Wow.
And I just hate that. And I hate the part about, well, you guys don't tell me I'm in the world's Guinness Book of Records. I hate the part where I won the Dynamo singles tornado. and then me and Murray beat the crap out of all you guys.
Yeah, I remember that. You guys beat me pretty bad. I didn't play you.
How about that?
Hey, Tony Bacon, nice to hear from you, buddy. And well, great way to come onto the show. No one else has quite matched your opening. It reminds me of your.
I'm just saying. Come on, how many people have ever won 3 world championships in a row?
Yeah, not many.
Right,
a handful, right?
Federico and a couple and Tony. Well, the only thing I don't like about Stevens is I left him in Seattle.
Oh, we're going
but
already.
When he said Tom Spear was his favorite player, it's mine. It's mine. We practiced together. I never thought I could beat him, but I did.
So is Tom Spear your number one, or do you got 4 other guys?
Furry's the best player in the world.
Furry, okay, that's my number one. So we agree. Anyone else you think you would wish would have kept playing, and you would think they thought they had success through maybe the 90s at least?
I don't even care about that issue. I just wanted to learn from the best players. I learned from Nick Spear and Furry how to be the best, and then I was.
There you go.
Claire, are you keeping stats?
Have you ever won 3 singles tournaments, world champions in a row?
I've never even won 3 local.
Have you ever been in 5 out of 6 world championships doubles in a row?
Have you ever commentated 27 world championships
in a row? Have you ever won every bracket in a row and done that?
Dude,
no,
listen,
we don't care about that.
Did you win?
We don't even care.
Where were you? Where were you in 1990?
I've never won 3.
Where were you in 1990 when I was winning amateur doubles at the World?
Yeah,
where were you?
Good point.
I'm pretty sure I was eating a tuna fish sandwich.
But
have you ever won 3 world titles in a row in singles?
I'll just say yes, and then
there's only 2 other people that have ever done it that I know of: Federico and Spreedeman. They're pretty good.
Yeah, pretty
good.
Billy won 2 in a row.
Who invented the 2-man from the 5-man?
You tell me who did it. Who did it?
I.
Really?
Did you really?
Thanks for destroying the game.
Thank you.
The
2 to the 5, destroy the game. Okay. Well, so Tony, the tradition here on FoosTalk Live, first of all, thanks for being here.
I have never said a word that would get me off Facebook yet tonight.
All right. Well, we'd like to start at the very beginning because there's a tradition here. We got to find out, what was the first time you saw a foosball table? What kind was it? And when did you first dive into play?
Really? That's a great question. I was 10 years old.
Okay.
And my family had just went to Oscoda, Michigan. Yeah, I guarantee you guys know what that is. And I just walked into the place where you make your shakes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a foosball table.
Cool. And did you know what it was?
A foosball table?
Right. But I mean, at 10 years old, had you ever seen a foosball table prior to that?
Ever. No.
Right. And so when was the first time you actually played on a table?
That day.
Okay.
You idiot, Tom.
Cut it out, you guys. Cut it out.
Let's try to.
You're not gonna cry.
Tony, we apologize for our friend Tom. He's such an imbecile.
I know. Either way, he's a nice guy. I'd like.
And so, do you remember what kind of table it was? What was it, like a Bonzi?
No, it wasn't a TS. It was just a foosball table.
Gotcha. And so when
it was one of them metal ones or whatever they play in Texas.
So let me ask you this, Tony, while the other guys are relatively silent for some reason. A few years ago, you were inducted into the Table Soccer Hall of Fame. And your speech to this day is one of the best ever, in my opinion.
Because I said foosball family?
Yeah, well, yes. And you can't make this stuff up. And you told some great stories. What are your memories of not only the ceremony, but what it felt like to be put into the Hall of Fame?
It felt great.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It felt.
That's
great.
all you got.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you don't have maybe your memory.
The one guy before I do the speech, right?
Yeah.
This guy from San Francisco comes up to me and says, "Me and the other guys used to play in a foosball game. We tend whoever we are. I used to do it too." And he said, "I used to always want to be you."
Cool.
And then he asked me, "How's it feel?" I said, "Great."
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
By the way, I crushed him in '82. I crushed him down. Me and Paul Reynolds were playing him in Minnesota, right? He's playing with Bednar, right? And Reynolds said this thing. I never went through a tournament, but I won. I doubled, right? And I told him. And Furry says to me, he looked at me and he said, "You're not God." I said, "But I am your God today."
Love it.
And Bednar.
Yeah. Well, Dynamo was your table.
And I had Reynolds on my team.
Tony, can I ask you to stop dropping F-bombs? Because we might have some kids listening.
I didn't mean to swear.
Yeah, you did like five.
They already kicked me off twice.
5 F-bombs at this point. We might have kids
I'm sorry.
All right, man.
Sorry.
So let's go back a little bit. So Furry gave you fits and issues. Is there a match that you cherish the most? Winning?
Furry. I took third in the last TS tournament ever.
The last ever?
I lost the last one ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
I lost to
81.
Gibson and one of my favorite guys in the world, one of the best goalies ever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Great guy.
They used to follow me, right? And I said to him, I used to watch every one of their practices, right? And they would practice like they were professionals. So I decided I should probably do it too.
You mean practice?
Like a professional.
Right.
Like it was your living. Like you're trying to win for your life.
That seemed to work.
What did a practice look like for you?
Yes. But Don beat me in singles to play Horton, but he knew I could be Horton. He knew he couldn't. So he gave me the ball and said, "Go win, baby."
Well, that's an interesting story.
It's a true story.
Apparently, yeah. You could get arrested for that if you do that in the NBA these days. But, you win a match. Shifting gears a little bit. That's, you're recognized as one of the great fibros of all time. What is really...
So what? Fibros don't mean nothing, dude. You got to win.
So what?
Win.
Have you ever won a match without a fibro?
No.
No.
Yeah, no, and I mean, your approach to fibro, your ability to get that ball moving slowly, to go to the right hole at the right time.
Whatever.
It was kind of a natural skill for you. Yeah, talk a little bit about that if you can.
Well, I always believed that the easiest pass is the easiest one to do.
You gotta write that down. Hold on.
The easiest pass.
The easiest pass is the easiest one to do.
All right.
The easiest pass is the easiest one to do.
Facebook puts some motivational quotes. I'm making that the inside.
They kicked me off Facebook.
Mantra.
But my philosophy is I'm going to do the easiest pass with the most consistency all the time. I know, because it's the easiest one.
You always use the easiest pass.
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, this is mind blowing because I'm
just
done
saying,
the
I have 9
pass,
world championships, 2 gold
and I have
medals,
0, and I never do the easiest
other
pass.
championships. Do you believe that the easiest pass you can do is the easiest one consistently every time?
No, that's true, and that's one of the things
I mean it. No, I promised my sister I wouldn't.
Well, she won't be
mad at me
about hearing this, but it's okay. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your show being good?
Hold on. I gotta ask Tony. Let me ask you another question while we still have
Go
you.
ahead. Go ahead.
Here's my question. I asked this question to all the real winners that have come on the show, and there's been a dozen or so. Why were you able to execute under pressure and when your competitors weren't? What was going through your mind when you had to make a big pass or a big shot? How did you keep strength in those moments to execute?
Nothing other than trying to just execute what I was trying to do. Because all I'm trying to do is execute.
Right.
There is no distractions. You have distractions. You're announcing the thing. All I'm trying to do is roll the ball over and execute.
You've been listening to FoosTalk Live's Greatest Hits. Thank you so much for downloading this episode. Jim, Mark, myself, and Clay will be back next week for another live adventure right here at FoosTalk Live. FoosTalk Live is a product of Inside Foos, all rights reserved. Brought to you in part by InsideFoos.com, 518 Prince, Foosballers the Movie, Foosball Clubs USA, and the USTSO. Tune in again next week for another episode of FoosTalk Live. In the meantime,
we'll see you foozin'.